Hi, MC Keegan-Ayer. I didn't plan to speak tonight because I don't live in this area. But as Mr. Young will tell you, I'm kind of the Bobbsey twin of school construction. So when Mr. Hall was talking about school construction, piqued my curiosity, and I have to get up and respond to him. And then I just want to put a couple of caveats out for you to consider as you're thinking about approving this DRA. And I'm sure Mr. Weinberg can pretty well tell you what I'm going to say before I even get started. The first thing I have to say is, yes, 50 students, you have to have a school overcrowded before the state will fund a school. However, we're not talking about 50 students here. We're talking about hundreds and hundreds of students. And as I have been working very hard, and Mr. Young can tell you, to alleviate some of the overcrowding at some of our schools around the county, hundreds and hundreds of students do impact their ability to learn, and there is no do-over in a child's education. But my caveats tonight are twofold. Number one, you're approving a DRA that would be an 18-year DRA. And when we do the APFO test, we do an APFO test for 10 years. And even Mr. Barnes with FCPS will tell you that the numbers get a little wonky. That's a technical term I like to use. A little wonky in years 7, 8, 9, 9, and 10, meaning they're really not as firm and as good as they should be. So you're going to be approving a DRA that will literally be more than double from the wonky years on. So that is of huge concern to me. Secondly, I have been memorizing practically these educational facility master plans, which I know come through this committee, for probably the last 20 years. And I will tell you, we have numerous schools in this county. I'm looking at 24, 30, 34 schools that are all on a list on page 33 in this year's educational facility master plan that all need to have some kind of renovation done to them because of physical issues or functional assessment issues. And so I'm concerned that with all the developments going on in this area of the county, what are we saying about where these schools are going to fall on our priority list for capital funds? We're talking about schools like Middletown schools that need to be renovated, Brunswick schools that need to be renovated, schools up in the Thurmont area that need to be renovated. We're not going to have the money to do that. And so I just caution you as you're looking at all these developments, what are the long-term impacts of these developments going to be on where we spend our capital dollars for schools? Because these schools that are on this list are all here right now. They have students in them, and these people who live in these areas have all been paying taxes for years, and they deserve to have the same kind of equitable facility that these people are going to get with new schools. Thank you.
Thank you. MC, I don't disagree. My boys are, the one boy's still in Green Valley. Remember that open air wonderful concept? My kids made it through somehow. Andrew's he's going to get through it, but you want to talk about how Green Valley's been horrible from day one with that open air concept, but my kids are making it.
And my kids went through Waverly, West Frederick, and Frederick High, so I know what it means.
And believe Andrew actually got the privilege of being a portable and enjoyed it more than being in the classroom setting at Green Valley with all the bookcases put together to make a little makeshift wall.
And I would suggest that you might go up and spend some time at Hillcrest and listen to whether they consider it a privilege.
My mother was principal there for, 16, 18 years, and I've substituted there many days, right, as you know.
And right now they have 26, and they're going to have 30 next fall. So please go up and visit them now. Thank you.
You know why that is, don't you?
Yeah, because you got 3-4 families living in a dwelling.
You know why that is at Hillcrest.
I do. I do.
But don't put that.
I do. What I'm saying is, please think about this. It has a ripple effect throughout the county, and I do know. Yes.
Can I ask you a question? How do you feel about redistricting?
In some cases, redistricting works. In the case of Hillcrest, it would be a huge challenge and a really difficult problem for some of those families. They don't have cars, they don't drive, and it would be hard for them to be able to be active in their child's school. And if their children were redistricting, right now they walk. There are 3 buses that go to Hillcrest, and those bus the children from across on the other side of Route 40 over to Hillcrest. So if you were to redistrict Hillcrest, it would present a huge challenge to those families.
How do you feel about redistricting the whole county then?
Oh, well, that's one you have to cross with the Board of Education.
Well, I'm just asking your opinion.
Yes, but I don't sit on the Board of Education.
Well, I was just asking your opinion since you brought up the subject. So,
Thank you.
Do you support countywide redistricting?
So we do have capacity in the
I
system.
would say probably it's not something you want to discuss
No.
with parents right now.
I'm just asking a question. Do you, MC Air, support countywide redistricting based on capacities that are there today?
And I say that's not my call. That's a Board of
You're a
Education call.
candidate for county council. It's not your call. You
It's
don't
not
have an
my,
opinion.
no, that's a Board of Education
Okay,
call.
so you got no opinion. Okay,
My opinions really don't matter. It's the Board of Education's call.
it does matter.
Obviously, it does matter because you're up there talking about it.
No,
Yes, you are.
I am up there talking.
You're up there talking about
I
that
am
you
talking.
don't want to talk about the things that are a little controversial. Well, that's what we do up here. We sit there, when you got a system like this, where 50% of the people like something, 50% of the people don't. Only ones we're dealing with now are the people in Monrovia, Armfield, Urbana. And I remember when Armfield only had one person out there, Crack Claw was the only thing out there. Down to Bigfoot Road, wasn't anything there. Or, not to say it is wrong, but they came up from Montgomery County, now it's too overcrowded. Come on. Come on. I didn't hear any howling about this, and I'm 78 years old, born and raised in Frederick, and seen it all.
And we were sitting in the audience when
But we're getting to the point where you're saying that we don't care. That's cool.
I did not say you don't care. I'm asking you to just
Most of them are.
I didn't say anything about you're not caring.
She
You
didn't
wouldn't
say
be
that.
sitting there if you didn't
She
care.
didn't say that.
Well, I'm getting a little hot now. Maybe I should.
At this time, we will take a short break and return at 9:20 and have rebuttal from the applicant.